to be problematic for them this entire year. Since last year's Riyadh, they have matched up against each other in multiple group stages, and every single time, Gaimin Gladiators have ended up tying out the series with OG, not being able to get the 2-0.
It's been a little bit of a menace, one might say. This is an interesting European-on-European matchup. These guys have played against each other a lot. Go back over the last 2 years, right? All of those old DPCs and everything, you're always playing against each other. Very different roster now for OG, and maybe different form too. That's the biggest thing that separates this matchup for me. OG have looked way better at this event than they have in a long time. They've been busting out picks left and right. Everybody's been firing on all cylinders, and particularly BZM. I think this is the best tournament BZM has had maybe all year. Yes. And that is what OG need, because he's the fulcrum of this team. Like, he is the player, in my opinion, that you're going to win or lose on, whether he's going ham or getting shut down. And the thing about this Gaimin matchup, as I think Whisper is going to give away first blood here on the rune.
He is indeed.
The thing about this Gaimin matchup is one of Gaimin's strengths is their laning capability, and particularly Quinn on that mid lane. Like, we've seen them just win games off Quinn shutting down enemy mids in that laning stage.
Yep.
Building enough lead that they can turn that little advantage into more snowball, and suddenly you can't contest Roshan, and suddenly Ace has a pipe, and that game just spirals out of control. So for me, this series is a lot about what happens on this mid lane. How fast can BZM get out of that laning phase, and in what kind of shape? Because I think his strength is in the mid and late game as a playmaker and a team fighter, though a lot of that goes out the window if you're just, 2 or 3K net worth behind at 20 minutes.
Sure. Frankly, I mean, mid lane matchup between these two players is interesting with, as you said, BZM kind of returning to form, looking a lot better than he has all year. But this hero matchup is something that you probably are not very practiced in. Morphling versus Razor.
Morph is a strong mid. Can't underestimate how well this hero CSs with the extra base damage. There's a lot of heroes. He can out-regen you pretty easily. He can get a lot of early CS just with adaptive strike spam that is very low mana, guaranteed with the water rune pickups here. I think BZM should do well on this lane, and then in theory, you have a good matchup versus Razor in the fights.
Sure.
You can turn the Link around. It's one of the harder matchups for Razor to get his own Link to remain on for an entire duration and not have it turned back against him. I kind of like this Morphling pick. It's very interesting. The downside of it is it doesn't deal with the two side lane cores here for Gaimin that are presenting a lot of units towards BZM. Like, you're looking at Broodmother with all the summons and CK with a lot of illusions here. It's a lot of AoE mess for this Morphling to maybe deal with as this game progresses, whereas the other hero I was thinking they might go to is that Tinker, who I think would have been a problem for Gaimin with the laser spam in this type of matchup, but we have not seen a lot of players confident in the Tinker after the changes.
Yeah. Well, in that case, it's going to be down to side lanes. If Morphling cannot handle some of this muck that is going to be running around from Gaimin Gladiators, then better to shut him down in the laning phase. But it's not looking good for OG safe lane, as Tomato is going to get run down by the duo of Ace and Tofu.
That is a very good start for them. This Brood, there's certain supports that can really enable Brood on the lane, and if you go back to one of those older patches where Brood was really popular after some of the changes, Grimstroke, Lion, and Snapfire, I think, were the premier 3.
Yeah.
So bringing back the Snapfire, it's a deadly combination. A lot of minus armor going through, a lot of physical burst, and then you can always cookie if you really need it on a lane for the extra gap close.
Yeah, for me, it was, I love the Grimstroke and the Snapfire because they both had this close range stun that gave the Broodmother just that extra bit of mobility.
Yep.
Right? Just like that little bit of gap close that allows you to be able to get on top of the enemy sooner. Then that stun follows it up, and you can just get in a few hits, and that really starts adding up over the course of a lane.
Very strong lane combination already working well for Ace, as the Black Widow, I should say, going to be powering up here. A lot of early stats, a lot of extra regen. Not going to be a fun lane over the long haul here for Tomato.
And let's not forget that the debilitating effect it's also having in the mid lane as well, right? It's up against a Morphling, and you've got one of those webs just sitting there, which just makes the matchup easier for Quinn.
I wonder if this is how Valve intended this facet to be used, but...
probably not, but...
for now, it's pretty good laning value.
I mean, that's just kind of Dota for you, right? Bunch of unintended consequences.
100%. Gonna look to contest the water runes, or at least try and guarantee one for BZM. If you can take both away from Quinn here, you'd be super happy. just win the region battle for the Morphling, they will.
Okay.
So that's a nice little win there. Get Boots up on this Morph, he's going to be doing even better on the lane. Because he is suffering in this matchup. Quinn is getting the better of BZM as these later waves went on. He needs the extra help here. Every time you have to morph up, it makes the CS harder. You have to deal with the Link. You're dealing with the web. He's falling out a bit behind.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he expected the adaptive strike to be enough of a stun and pushback to break the Link every time, but every single time I've seen it, it has not been enough. He's, you know, thrown it out, walked away, and Quinn's just been able to shrug off that extra bit of distance and keep the gap for those extra, like, you know, 1-2 seconds. That does make quite a big CS difference.
He has Boots now, so he should start catching up. He has 8 denies of his own. Still, it is Gaimin. All 3 of their cores at the top of the chart here, all doing really well on the CS ladder.
Going for Ari.
More aggression.
Whisper trying to keep him back with the rebuke. Celery's just going to keep it going, though. And they even have some extra heals. Nice spear back, though, from Whisper. Not that it'll kill Dyrachyo, but does do some extra damage. And certainly that damage is going to be needed if you want to start threatening this Chaos Knight when the Hoodwink comes back into play.
It's getting a little spooky on these lanes for OG. I mean, you can definitely lose the laning phase and still make that mid-game comeback here. It's one of this team's strengths, in my opinion, but you do not want to lose it too hard because you are going to go up against a Brood who he has choice here between Aura and right-click itemization. He could really accelerate the game if Ace wants to. And the pressure is starting to mount in this laning phase. The CS lead is starting to build. These heroes are getting the later spells, looking for the all-in kills. Cores on the side lanes for OG just getting pummeled right now.
Yeah, it cannot feel good, particularly for OG's safe lane. Right, you picked up a Train Protector, one of the ultimate like lane-winning supports, but you're up against a Broodmother, incapacitating bites. Kind of debilitates that hero and what it wants to do. Ari's going to get run down a second time here. There's no escape from all of this. The added damage turned back around onto BZM, though Seb's not going to join in on this little play. And the waveform forward, BZM might be able to get the kill onto Quinn. He has just that extra bit of regen to stay alive. His wand is coming back up into play. Tofu's here with a cookie. Turn over. Wait, they're going for the kill. They got him. What a turn. BZM did not see that coming in his fate. Celery still chasing after Seb. He's got some heals, so even as they try and 1v2 him, unless they got him into tower, it'd be difficult to get this kill, especially with the facet. Look how many wisps he's got around him at this point.
It's ridiculous heal this early in the game.
Yeah, they'll get it eventually, but man, it took some serious rundown. It took Ari coming back into play. 3 heroes all chasing down this Enchantress, and let's not forget, they lost BZM at the start of that.
And Quinn got so much out of that. That Fairy Fire paid off. Lane was kind of even, but now he's just almost 1,000 ahead. And bringing supports off the side lanes for OG is not what they wanted to have happen here in a losing exchange because your 2 side lanes were not doing good in the vacuum either. Very costly out skirmish here for OG as the road to recovery becomes steeper. And man, full duration Link doing work here. What you would have done to get one more right click in there is BZM. Just no vision on mid to see this Tofu rotation either.
Yep.
Wards are not there for OG.
I have to speed up this death a little bit just because it takes so long to kill an Enchantress with this facet, even at low level. That was a lot of action that was going around, supports moving around the map, and that just left Ace alone in a lane. Tomato can't take that.
He's already level 6 against this level 5 TA. He is going to Ors this game, so the objectives are going to speed up for Gaimin. How much time is Tomato going to have to farm before he's forced to fight in this game?
Oh, Ace is going for the tier 2 dive. And the support rotation, I don't think it's going to do much here. Yeah, you have to cancel that one.
Just feasting.
Once again, the Western European carries like to make that early movement through the gate. We see it here again with Dyrachyo. Not that he was needed for that kill, but he just opts to forfeit his lane and go for the push onto the enemy safe lane tower instead, using the strength of the offlaner right now, which is Ace, Broodmother, that is fully swarming the OG jungle. The lanes, it went bad for OG, and now it's about to become a nightmare.
This is Ace rotating mid before he took that bottom tower. Says, I don't even need it. That was close, actually. He was not morphing. This is spiraling out for OG right now. They have no stability on the lanes. There's no lane they can really stand on. gotta get an arena up on this Mars and take a fight with it, I think. You can definitely catch the Brood. You can bring him down. You have some damage follow up with the Hoodwink. But something's got to happen fast here. I mean, Ace, he's just going to slurp up the whole map right now.
You say can bring him down, but you don't have level 6 on the Hoodwink, so you're missing a lot of damage there. And Ace is flying out the mech already. So double Wraithband, Soul Ring, mech. He's got like an effective HP of like, you know, close to 2K.
Seeds of Serenity on top, a little extra boost.
That's true.
It's a lot to burst through. This Morphling just has nothing, man. They are looking for that arena play. Ace, he reads it. Backs up here. Problem is, you need to commit more heroes to try and make this move on the Brood, and if the Brood just continues to farm, you feel doubly bad. Because you're just standing around here waiting for a play that starts to feel very forced. But fighting on these traps is your best bet.
And again, I go back to the Train Protector, right? You picked up a Train Protector, lost the lane. What's the other thing Train Protector does for you? Well, helps keep some of your towers alive. The towers are falling fast. The Living Armor is not getting a chance to actually do anything. Not this early into the game, not at this low level for a Train Protector, and not with this fast of pushes coming out from Gaimin Gladiators.
Tree's also a hero that needs to fight around these objectives. At least that's where the better fights come for him. He's not going to have any left by the time you have Overgrowth.
Tomato spotted by that same ward that they placed down when they killed him earlier. He's going to die a second time here. The Mars is going to TP in too late for the kill, potentially, as, wait a minute, they need some detection. The kisses, can it land? A long shot is off the mark, and it looks like Tomato is going to be, never mind, not a way to safety. Quinn comes in through the north, and they just surround OG. You only brought one hero to bail out Tomato. That's not good enough. Zeb shows up too late. It's a 4 versus 3 that they get a 4 versus 1, one after the other.
Turned it into a rout here. What is the play on the other side of the map? Dirachi almost 1v2ing them. This man is in no danger of dying right now.
A 9,000 net worth lead, a tier 2 down at 11 minutes. This is turning into one of the fastest paces that Gaimin Gladiators have taken yet at Riyadh Masters.
It's like one of the fastest games I've seen in this patch in a long time. Just an absolute rout. 10K at 11 minutes, that is... I don't really know how to put that in perspective because it is so insane, but
yeah,
that is an absurd net worth generation for this early in the game. It's like you're almost doubling up every core here out of the laning phase.
Yeah, you are indeed.
I mean, you got a big Brood problem, I'll tell you that much. This hero's probably getting banned next game no matter what happens here.
A hero that we're going to be seeing a lot more. You know, we were talking about how Accelerate, wait a minute, Bushwhack, and they'll get a second kill of the game, perhaps. Had to bring 4 heroes to it, and it's going to take a while. God, it's going to take a while.
This is...
Oh my God, are they not going to get it? They're not going to get it. 4 versus 1, they can't get that kill, and now they're going to get demolished in the river.
Is that the game?
Yeah, do you just want to call it here, OG?
Just go next and save yourself the mental misery at this point.
Nobody will blame you.
I mean, Seb got a haste rune. It's hasted him the game 2 here. That's about the only place he's going because this one just feels done. Like, you just committed 4 heroes to kill a 5 and you lost 3 and didn't even get him. It's a Brown Boots Edge, really showing the strength of this facet. Just makes this hero ridiculous in the early game.
That facet is truly ridiculous. The funny part is he didn't even, as you said, he was just Brown Boots. He just picked up that Pavis, so he didn't even have it for the kill attempt there. Next time, that kill is going to be even harder to get. Whispers run down underneath the tier 2, throws out an arena, does nothing. There is nobody from OG who can really take advantage of this arena.
I think his Morphling has negative GPM at this point.
And Tomato's going to be joining him in losing some gold. In this minute, Refraction just trying to do more damage to Tofu, but by the time he gets the hit in, every bit of damage was drained away from him.
This is exactly the type of game that Gaimin wants to play too. They love these snowball lane type shenanigans. They love when they have Ace on a hero that is the most farm, just sucking up the whole map. Can give you early pushes, early high ground, early sustain.
As we heard in the interview, right? Always been a bit of a cheesy player.
Yep. This is a cheese hero.
God, if he plasma fields just to like trying to farm up those neutrals, he'd find a free kill on Seb.
And the Brood backstabs have been nasty this game. There's very little control for
you need this Wisdom Rune. You're not going to get it, though. You're not going to get the Wisdom Rune. You're going to lose Whisper. Trying to defend it in from behind the full Gaimin Gladiators squad. Even some artillery to support their dives onto the tier 2. They pick up 3 rather easily. GG is called at 1450. Some problems for OG. One of which is going to be they're running the core Venomancer with the support Monkey King once again. Oh! Well, looks like Brian was right. We are going to have some early action. So Tofu sped across the map pretty damn quickly, and he actually managed to get past most of OG. But looks like they spotted him hopping to one of the trees, and they do manage to get first blood as a result, picking off that Monkey King, thanks to Whisper's quick reactions with the axes.
Yeah, missed him on the first round, but got him on the second.
Yep.
Did get both obs out. I'd be curious to see if OG try and find and de-ward these. Probably worth it on that mid-ob since you saw him go there. These are courier snipe wards. Do not want to let them linger for too long, or just play it safe with the couriers, let him waste his time. This top lane is going to be very important for both teams in terms of what happens on these initial waves, because Gaimin are going to try and get the cut going, and as OG, you have 2 choices. You contest it, or you let it happen, but you have to commit one way or the other here. They have the heroes that can contest this with the Weaver, very strong early on. But they brought Celery up here to just guarantee that this cut happens.
Yeah, so now you're going to be left in a 2 versus 3, or potentially 3 versus 3. They cut a decent amount of the wave, but not everything. So they'll miss out. They shared that experience initially, and then they miss out on the full experience of those creeps. Nobody's in range. So
little lost to try and get this cut going. They wanted to make sure that level 1 happened. It does hurt the Alchemist a little bit bottom initially, but this will make sure that the cut goes through. Pretty uncontested here. And at this point, I mean, what do you really do if you're Seb? You can't stop it. You don't have good enough early spells. The Weaver is going to have to take creeps onto the tower. You do not want to feed extra kills away.
And he is battling this out with a flame break, and it looks like with the bug coming over, they gave Tomato level 2, and that was enough. Good read by OG the situation. Solo experience on Tomato gives him level 2. He has the Shikuchi to get there and the bugs to win the fight. Problem is, he does miss out on some decent amount of CS as the creep wave went under tower, but worth it in the end?
Yeah, 100% worth it. It's going to give a lot of extra time for Seb to get some regen back out on the lane. Huge XP for the Weaver, and you shut down that cutting action, which kills a lot of the momentum for the Veno. I think Weaver was a good response to what Gaimin were trying to do with this Monkey Veno. It's one of the carries that can easily make that rotation very quickly, give you the super high kill threat with the Swarm coming through that you just can't sit there and trade back, even if you have a bunch of Plague Wards. It's a nice idea. It's working out pretty well so far. Also, just limited lockdown between the Veno and the Monkey to deal with the Weaver early on this lane. Yep, Tomato should have a very good time up here. May have to push this Monkey towards the courier killing sooner than you prefer.
Yeah, I think that part of this idea, you cut the wave, and then you're able to farm some extra neutrals, and the Monkey King, while you're farming those extra neutrals, can also go for the courier pickoff, and then still be able to get back in time. Seb does get hit by the Gale, while Ari's going to get run down at the bottom lane. Lane shenanigans getting weird on both sides of the equation, but it looks like in this instance, Gaimin Gladiators will walk away the winners of both. When it comes to the kills, though, the bug and the go here from Tomato. In this 1v2, can Tofu kick Tomato away from Ace enough that everything will be fine? He still has another Shikuchi coming up, and Ari's coming in from the save side, and Impale long enough to be able to land, and Ace will die again.
All right, Tomato, very happy with how this is going. This is carry acceleration right now, shutting down a kind of cheese off lane pick, and you're not feeding kills elsewhere on the map. I mean, you gave up a Nyx kill, but Beast is getting something off of what's a very tough lane, especially considering the Nyx rotated top. You need to make sure that that play works because you are leaving Whisper alone in a lane that it is not fun for him. Yeah. This is a maiden Alchemist lane we've seen Gaimin play again and again over the last 2 years. They're very comfortable with it, very confident with it, for good reason. You will abuse almost any melee offlaner heavily.
Very strong laning hero. We see Entity's Kataomi They've been playing it for position alchemists non-stop, and for a good reason. It's just acid spray and unstable concoction are very powerful spells. You don't have to fixate too much on the farming aspect of the hero all the time. Though that is something Dyrachyo would like to be doing more of. 11-5, as much as they're pressuring Whisper, they're also not getting that much CS for Dyrachyo in the first place. And now it may even die with a rotation coming in from behind. Seb, now it's OG who are bringing the tri-lane to everything single situation. Tofu's gonna hop down, might be able to turn around and kill Seb. Instead, the axes come out and finish off him, but a beautiful boundless strike. How did he manage to hit 3 heroes with that? They get 2 kills off of that 3-man boundless strike and even up the kill score, even if Dyrachyo's a bit lost for it. Lost his life and lost his courier.
The thing, though, is he actually got the kill on the Beast from the acid spray tick, so he actually got a decent amount of gold out of that from the grave. Maybe not too sad about it, all things considered. Nonetheless, very even laning phase across the board, which, if you watched Game 1, is a stark difference here for OG. Actually going to be able to play Dota 2 in this game.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
We do like watching actual games of Dota 2.
I'm sure they enjoyed playing actual games of Dota 2. It's like that first game never happened.
Sure.
Except for your score in the groups.
It was something that OG have been getting nice stun. Still going to be able to get off the unstable concoction, and I like how Dyrachyo doesn't even stick around, man.
He's got creeps to farm.
Yep.
And it's got business with Grievel's Greed.
Look at Tomato, man. This guy is all over the place when it comes to hunting down this Venomancer. They certainly had an idea of, oh, geez, that was a lot of damage. BZM even thinking about the Rolling Thunder to see if he could chase down Quinn.
Yeah, winning mid this time around. Again, I think we've seen Puck lose more lanes than he wins, just against almost anything.
Sure.
The low base damage at the start really hurts you here, and just getting out-leveled.
It's going to be not the easiest Puck game. A lost lane into Nyx Assassin, and then you also have Beastmaster and Batrider, two like single target, relatively fast disables. Not going to be the most fun for a Puck, especially if you're under-leveled. Good rotation, though, from the double supports. What about Ace, though? Is Ace doing okay? It seems fine-ish, 32-1.
He's doing fine on the net worth. You can always jungle with this hero pretty efficiently. He did get the levels off some of the earlier cuttings, so even if you die once or twice, he's still going to be able to find some decent farm here. Your biggest concern is what kind of start this Weaver has, more than what the Venom is doing right now. As Gaimin are going to poke. Are they going to commit for this? Don't see either TP.
TP rotations coming out in Gaimin Gladiators. Overextend and will get heavily punished for it. Tofu and Dyrachyo both dying, and they do not get their kill they were aiming for in Whisper.
Big turnaround from OG. Not only from this game one going into this one, addressing the problems, but reading the aggression correctly. And just beautiful TPs behind double tree here. Didn't see either in the fog if you're Gaimin. Feels like you can commit. But you do not have Alcult here. You do not have a lot of burst damage between the supports. We've seen them syncing up pretty nicely. That was a killing spree for Tofu that also went the way of BZM, so he picks up some extra gold for that one.
BZM has gotten very big in the last few. Being able to kick the puck out of lane, being a part of that kill right there is just behind the Alchemist in net worth. Good place to be. Ace has got his level 6. Not going to be the same kind of terror he was last time we saw his core Venomancer, though. In his matchup, we saw how he was just able to hit his level 6 and just immediately pop the ultimate on the opposing carry. Weaver's not the kind of hero to be bullied like that. First coil going to be used, and BZM, who's having such a great game, is hunted down. A 3-man gank team from Gaimin Gladiators proves to be stronger than OG's trio, as they're going to be able to get the 2-for-1 exchange.
Huge turnaround between these two mid laners there. Gaimin bring in the support numbers again. The synchronization between Celery and Tofu has been on point this game. They are getting a lot of work done with an early support duo that, if you fall behind in those levels, none of these plays would be viable. Really making this Monkey King shine. Almost level 5 already. Might leech some extra experience off these Ancients.
Oh yeah, this will be nice. Oh, roared up immediately. Well, he's going to try and kill the ward. He does manage to do that much before he goes.
Something worth your trouble, but Whisper happy to collect that one. Some more recovery farm for him. Yeah. Gets to protect the XP off this Ancient stack as well. And you are kind of racing against the Alk farm here with this Beastmaster. Try and get as fast an Ags as you can so you can do the super early Roshan we've seen, put the Alk in a position where he has to fight earlier than he wants to. Seb will give up his life trying to scout and contest the camps.
Though, I mean, it is a Duraccio Alchemist. I do question how much he actually wants to farm. This guy is such an aggressive carry. He might just run around with his team.
Yeah, get Sacred Relic, go fight.
Yeah, classic. 9 and 8, and the laning phase has broken down quite a bit with the supports just running all over the map, and the outcome is an even net worth. Slight lead for Gaimin Gladiators, but we'll call that the Alchemist advantage.
Hey, 10K better than last game, so got that going for
Certainly. Another death on BZM, though, and things are getting a lot worse for him. Slowed down by the blood grenade, Ari will still be able to walk away. Tomato has cut in. He's come to join all of these fights in the river, and the supports are free food for him. He's going to run down Celery. It looks like go for Tofu next. Meanwhile, Quinn's trying to make his way out of here. Tofu gets off the boundless strike, hoping to hop away into the trees before Tomato catches him. Can't outrun the bug, and Quinn can't get away from Ari either.
That's a lot of levels that Ari needed in this game. On a hero that really needs extra points in all his spells to get that little extra damage for the kills, that goes a long way here. And a nice heads up, little mini stun into the lasso. Get that puck kill that has been a nuisance for OG. Protect their ancients as well for the Whisper here, so he gets to once again maintain the XP he's getting off these stacks. If you lose that fight, you lose ancients. That is a massive gold and experience swing that this Beastmaster, he needs it in this game. No way around it with how hard his lane was.
Yep.
So big moves from OG to stabilize this early game. And another big kill here from the Nyx. That's at level 6 instantly paying off. No sentry on that mid lane.
And as fast as OG definitely feels like they are keeping up the pace with Gaimin Gladiators in this game too. Wonder if Seb had to talk with the boys. Okay, the draft messed that one up, but we're gonna make sure in this game too, every single time Gaimin Gladiators try and, move one of their cores to get some kills, we're going to be doing the same. We see that now as Duraccio going to be dove in this bottom lane, chaining the stun. Unstable Concoction barely goes off, but he throws it at an Nyx Assassin. Spike Carapace blocks back the damage. Whisper getting popped on the ultimate there. He immediately TP's out, so he's away to safety. Duraccio is going to be left by the other two cores of BZM and Tomato, hunted down rather easily. Celery does manage to get the one-on-one against Seb with his freezing field. So 1 for 2, both supports on OG dying, but the Alchemist falls yet again.
Costly time outside the game for the man with the Grievel's Greed here as Tomato continues to accelerate. 5-0 start for him, level 10 already. Happy to join all of these fights, get some extra gold. Not the worst exchange for OG overall as the carry differential goes in their favor. Man, I am surprised at how much Ari got done in this early game from a very rough position.
Yeah, seriously.
He could have just been a complete non-factor here instead. He's already level 7, pretty dang farmed, and looking for the Dagon build-up. Just burst his puck every fight.
I think this is a pretty good Nyx game, too, if you're able to get out of the laning phase.
Yes, right? But you need the levels, because you got to remember most of these Nyxes are going the Mind Flare over the Carapace.
Right.
Boost up the farming speed, get the extra damage, and so, as good as like a Carapace game, this looks like you're not guaranteed to have all those points. Especially if you're going to go Dagon here, you have to go the Mind Flare build, I think. He really needs, level 12 to 14 is where he's going to become an absolute menace in those fights.
Sure.
Long way off, but with the start he's had, not too far. Already a level 8.
Radiant are scanning.
All right, just charging in there, setting up EZM, who had moved with Seb off a 2-man smoke, and we're looking for a kill, and Celery just offered it up to them. So immediately pounce on that one. Better Celery than Ace, though.
Happy to collect any sort of kills here because that Weaver just took a solo tower top. Tomato continues to keep pace with the Alchemist here, a very good sign for OG. And if he can maintain his position on that area, it could be a smoke opportunity for OG. Go to that 14-minute Wisdom Rune where the Weaver's already lingering and kind of a difficult catch for Gaimin unless they want to commit a lot of heroes here. An annoying presence for them right now. Radiance is done pretty fast.
I think it's pretty clear this Weaver has prevented the Venomancer from accomplishing what Gaimin Gladiators wanted out of it, right? It didn't take over the lane, didn't take the tower, didn't really get that much extra farm of like both farming the lane and the neutrals. It is still an aura hero though at the end of the day, and they've got that Guardian Greaves and they're trying to pressure the mid tower off of that one. 14-minute Wisdom Rune is still a ways away. Tomato's already kind of spoiled his position. Quinn, he's going to show up to try and push Tomato away from this one, or maybe even get the kill. Got him inside the coil, and chain that stun a little bit more with the silence. They've got it. Oh, Tomato, way too aggressive there. Gives away a chunk of gold back over to Quinn.
I got a 5x streak. I really thought there was an opportunity for OG to smoke to him there. Take the fight. They did get the Beastmaster Axe finished, and they didn't have Rolling Thunder, so maybe there wasn't any crazy timing to go with. Did get a decent amount of farm out of the map. There was an opportunity to maybe take that fight with how strong this Weaver is.
Yeah, what happened to all that aggression from OG? It seems just been put on pause here for a minute as everybody collects their next round of items. Seb gets his mech. The Beastmaster, as you said, is coming online.
But they are getting a lot off the map right now, especially these two supports.
Dust.
Therapist the dust, okay.
And stuns up Tofu, and Tofu, especially with that facet that Nyx is passing crazy fast, will be able to get away.
You'd like to fight right now if you're OG. You also have this Orchid on BZM plus an amp damage rune. Lot of magical burst coming out from this Pangolier right now. As long as you can stun some heroes, let them go to work.
A golden thread.
You have Greaves on Ace for some Dispel, but that's about it in terms of survivability right now. And Gaimin are in no position to start trying to push towers just straight up. They need more farm right now. Need to scale this puck, scale the Veno. Your Alk is strong, but he cannot force the fight before BKB in this type of game. Kind of an awkward position for Gaimin, especially compared to that game one. It's going to give some freedom for this Nyx to run around, maybe look for the setup play, and that early Roshan from the Beastmaster beats the Alchemist to it here. Another use for that amp damage rune.
Very nice. So Whisper is walking around with an Aghanim Scepter and an Aegis. This is a team fight winner if I've ever seen one. At 16 minutes, I don't think Gaimin Gladiators won any of that smoke. So we'll see what Gaimin Gladiators does in response to this kind of strength. It seems like for now, play the other side of the map.
Does feel like you're getting pretty outscaled here, though.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, the other game we saw is Monkey Veno strat. This Monkey became a fourth core. That game just snowballed out of control. That doesn't really seem to be the case here. You're going an Orchid on Tofu. Might get it at an okay timing here. But right now, I mean, you're looking at a Nyx who is going to continue to farm creeps up on the map. You have 3 cores from OG who are all going to power up a lot here.
Nice setup. Nyx Assassin spotting Ace rotating in, and they almost burst him down. The Clipper keeps him alive, and he's got off his ultimate now. That's trouble for the Beastmaster, and the coiled up Tomato also has to use his time lapse, but he doesn't even heal that much off of it. So the second part of the fight is going to be a little weird as Tofu and Tarachu come in with their stuns, and they have an Orchid to be able to place onto BZM. BZM, is he going to take out, or can he heal up through it? Looks like he barely heals just enough. The Dale plus the bottle hits will get BZM over the line, and it's Gaimin Gladiators who will suffer casualties.
Not ready for that dive. I mean, a Glimmer did a huge amount of work there, but you don't get a Wukong off. Your coil's very late. Don't get to synchronize the damage. And that was a massive shield rune from BZM. Absolutely saves his life there. Lets OG get away without any casualties.
Yeah, they effectively lost 2 heroes in that, right? Between the shield rune and an Aegis, they just have 2 extra lives.
Should push the Weaver towards that Desolator. In fact, I think it's done here in like 200 gold. A lot of firepower. He did max Carapace. Okay, so even with the Dagon build, he maxed the Carapace looking for the stuns on the Puck and the Alk.
Honestly, it's too good, this game. Yeah. There's way too much. Every single hero on Gaimin Gladiators has some sort of AoE damage. They're going to get caught on, like the Puck does here.
Ooh,
Spike Carapace sets up the Roar. Not even sure if the Roar was needed, but it adds that extra bit of comfort to ensure they get a big kill.
These aggressive wards from OG paying off right now. These are kind of dangerous wards to place when you have Nyx, just because these are areas where Gaimin are automatically going to place sentries to try and protect the lanes getting shoved out. So I wouldn't be surprised if these get dewarded, but if you get 1 or 2 big kills off them, it can just be worth it anyway.
Sure.
And BKB done for the Alk. So Dyrachyo shouldn't die here, but he's going to have to maybe commit that BKB.
Weaver working it up. Oh, underneath the tier 2. Can they kill him? He's dead. Tomato's aggression goes against him, and Dyrachyo has baited in this fight with a BKB that he now activates. Though, again, not even sure if it was needed, but it'll make him feel good about chasing down these other heroes, knowing that there's going to be no response. And they'll get the extra kill as a result. It's going to be the Bat Rider of Seb.
Give him the last hit. Nice turnaround from Gaimin, but it did feel like an overextension there from OG. Maybe just not predicting or expecting this Orchid out of the Monkey King.
Ooh, got him on the tail end of that one. Pulls him back in with the Waning Rift, and the Orchid goes to work once again. Tofu is at this 4-position Monkey King. Aims to turn into another core. Wait a minute, the roar onto the puck is going to result in Quinn going down. The Hawk locks him down in the end, and with the drums a-bumping, Tofu will fall to the sound of music.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
On the other side, Tomato immediately gets aggressive for Dyrachyo, and they've got an Orchid of their own to make work, and no BKB. He used that in the bottom lane. No defensive measure here.
Man, this is just a game of all-out aggression. Both teams making some plays that are overextensions, but both just looking for blood right now.
39 kills in 20 minutes. I think that is about the same as the entirety of the League of Legends finals.
Oh, that's a nice stat, Austin. I'm sure they appreciate that.
Yeah. Man, the fact that Nyx Assassin lives just through the Orchid pop, quite a nuisance for Gaimin Gladiators.
Yeah, I think that first game, 14 minutes, that was about the average game like I saw for the MLBB games. They go very fast, and as very entertaining as they are. So Dota taking a page out of multiple games here at EWC.
Yeah, learning from the others. That's what we do best.
I still can't help but feel this all favors OG. Like, just looking not just at the net worth chart, but how the heroes are going to scale in this game. It feels like you're going to hit a PowerPoint where you're very tanky on OG. You have some dispels for this Monkey Orchid, which has done a lot of work, more than I expected. But I worry about Alchemist in, the modern age of Dota 2 scaling into these late game situations. He just doesn't feel like the same carry he used to be. He's more of a timing-based pushed hero. Okay. Goodbye.
I love it. I love that commitment, man. Seb loves it too. He's like, you know what, man? Yeah, get that kill. You know you're dying for it.
I don't even know if that's worth, but it probably feels good.
Sends a message.
It absolutely does, and this Nyx is getting big, man. He was eyeing up Pipe earlier, and it looks like he will commit to that. So taking a brief pit stop for a defensive ore item for the team. Gonna be nice as this game goes later and later. We'll also just allow Whisper to get greedier here on the Beastmaster. You have the Pipe Greaves on the Ace Venomancer, so if there's a time to try and take 5v5s in this game, and
breaking a smoke, immediately throws out the Orchid onto the Pango, but he blinks away.
Orchid on Orchid.
Not finding a real initiation. Ace throws out his ultimate, and they've got off the Wukong's command in this area, but the drums may prove to be too much for him, as Dyrachyo's trying to go for Tomato, not really doing much there. The Desolator is beginning to hurt. It's building up onto Dyrachyo. He pops his BKB, turns back off the Frostbite, tries to chase away Tomato. He's back into the tier 2. BZM back into play. Wait, they got the stun. Maybe they can kill the Weaver. They get him underneath the tier 2. They're dove in deep. Dyrachyo with his Chemical Rage still going on for a few more seconds, now looks for an escape. Well, Ace has found it, he TP's away, but the Nyx Assassin is sitting on top of Dyrachyo, and there's nowhere for him to go.
Holds that Carapace the entire time, guaranteed here on the Alk. And another kill to the Nyx Assassin, now level 14.5. Ari is having himself a game here, as he is higher level than the enemy mid at 23 minutes. It's just no answer for this Nyx right now. Need better control and faster kills if you're gaming, because these fights are going long and you're getting stuck in drawn-out exchanges that are not favorable for you. You gotta address that soon here. Also, Seb has had some big lassos on this puck. That's another one where he just finds Quinn, locks him down, bursts that puck 100-0. No counterplay. He's just going double dispel between the Greaves and the Lotus. Going to be very obnoxious But the Veno, the Maiden, even some of these Alex stuns, the Orchid on the Monkey, Dispels are name of the game here for OG. Save the Weaver, help him out. More scouting done by both of these fours as Tofu narrowly escapes.
Pop, doesn't make it far enough. He gets a force stab through the trees to cut him down. Duraccio does come in. Wait a minute, the Weaver's dead. Oh boy, this has turned bad for OG as BZM's gonna have to roll on out of here and TP home. Tomato has been super active, and it has been a huge boon for OG, particularly in the early part of the game, but a couple of times that aggression has got him caught and punished badly.
And the question here is, I kind of get the Hurricane Pike with, you know, Wukong or something, but finishing up the entire Hurricane Pike before you get a Manta or a BKB in this game when you're dealing with so many silences, it's really hurt Tomato here. The second he gets Orchided, he's just dead 100-0. There's no Dispel that comes through. He can't save himself in any of these situations. And what is the Hurricane Pike really doing for you versus things like the Coil, versus things like the Alchemist stun?
And if you're going to play this way, wouldn't you want a BKB to ensure that your aggression doesn't get beaten back by a single silence?
I mean, BKB guarantees you time-lapse in this game. There's no counter to it on the side of Gaimin. This build will scale longer or scale better over the long run, and maybe there's an argument of like, okay, he can go Hurricane Pike, you can give him an Aegis here, then he can play aggressive, or he can just be the one who comes into the fight later on. He doesn't have to be the first contact. But it's hurt him a little bit here. Set the Weaver back, push the Beastmaster up, I guess.
Yeah, the Beastmaster is doing very well for himself. He's going to go Shivas next. They're also trying to get, not a hard save, but a Lotus Orb may go a very long ways in protecting this Weaver, and that's what Seb's trying to build up right now.
So you could rely on the team to give you the Dispel here and just go more aggressive, which, again, going to help you scale better here. As you wait for the next Roshan. Was an early one. OG know it's going to be Dire side. Would love to claim it uncontested. We'll see if Gaimin opts to try and fight that.
It feels like they're not, just because, like, they could be doing it right now. For all they know, Roshan is dying right now. They're not doing anything.
They want to Assault Kuros on Duraccio. He's way too important to them right now in terms of the damage output. If you don't have the timing on this out, it feels hard to fight.
Sure.
Does have his level 20 as well, so you get the extra BAT reduction, you get some more attack speed from this AC. You're starting to cook. Especially if you can start the fight on your terms. Let's say the Out can blink in, kill off one target immediately, and then pop the BKB to commit for a longer fight. That's the type of situation I can see Gaimin win.
Well, I wonder if they're seeing heroes out on the map. At this point in time, you hit that timing you're talking about. You hit the AC. Now you can contest that Roshan.
Yep, very contestable here. Got to look for the jump. That's where Ari can really throw a wrench in the works. If he breaks smokes, if he gets the scout out first, he will do so.
He's gonna break it, but he was on the low ground. Didn't immediately see anything, but they don't get the dust out in time.
Very slow there.
Yeah.
You just got to insta-pop these dusts the second your smoke break, because you just don't know if it's a Nyx or not, but you can't take the gamble. It is not Ari. Gets what he came for, and this Roche is coming up. In fact, it is being done right now. You want to contest this, you have to just go. Got to go blind here. All the vision in the world for OG.
Bugs out. Roshan roars again. Roshan's dying, and Gaimin Gladiators will not contest.
Give it to Whisper again, too. Not this Weaver. Does leave Tomato a bit susceptible, but Whisper has been a beast.
Ari trying to get the catch. Tofu.
Nice Lotus.
BZM does manage to roll up and get off his ultimate. The Coil is going to snap on the Nyx. Zazen finishing him off. The lasso will not be able to save him, but they will be able to get some big chain stuns onto Duraccio. But he had that AC, and he's tankier than perhaps OG were anticipating. Still, though, Weaver's going in for the kill, and he's dropping low. He gets off one last stun, but he does eventually go down. Now the Weaver at half HP with a She's ready to go with a time lapse, even better. Tofu, he's dropping, and he's got a bit of lifesteal battling out with BZM. BZM getting low, and it looks like Quinn will be able to get that much. The bugs go through on Ace. Ace. He can't really get out of here. He's going to go for a hopeful TP. It's never going to work out for him. Quinn, much better chance at surviving. Thinks about the gate, thinks about his orb. John to the orb. Blink dagger up in a few more seconds, and believe he'll be perfectly fine.
big Lotusaur from Seb there. Bails the Pangolier out from the initial Orchid go. There's no Dispel on this Pango either, so dynamization here from Seb. Absolutely on point. Puts his Weaver in a little bit of a precarious situation, but still had cheese on Tomato that entire time. He's able to just tank through it, so it ends up working out. Now you have that level 20 talent on the Weaver. You have it on the Beast too. Whisper is an absolute monsters game. 10, 1, and 12, showing us why this hero has been first phase picked and banned so often. Shiva is done. There is no answer for this Beastmaster right now.
Gwen gets the coil on the two of them. Caught Ari as well. Ari hits him with the Spike Carapace stun. Got the drag back onto Celery, while Tofu, he can't deal with the damage that's coming out from Tomato right now. Tomato hurts real bad for these supports who just do not have the armor to deal with it. And now hit by another Spike Carapace, he's gone. I guess he was anticipating that Dyrachyo was maybe going to come in there or something, but Gaimin Gladiators, not a well thought out engagement, it seems.
That was without the Beastmaster just trickling into that fight. Feels like desperation right now for Gaimin. They have just not hit any of their momentum, any of their timings. The lanes got stifled. A very different situation in that game one, and OG looking to make a statement here in game two. I don't think this game gets better for him either.
No, I don't think so.
So many defensive items coming in for OG. These Orchids are losing their efficacy, and the scale is starting to hurt here. As where do you go as the Alec? Like, you can get an Abyssal, but that's kind of it.
Yeah, you could get the Abyssal, but I just don't think you'll actually have the damage a lot of times to kill the Weaver. And if you don't kill the Weaver, Weaver just out DPSs, I think, anything that Gaimin Gladiators has.
And you can't just go in the fight as Alec BKB and try and bring a core target down, because Roar is just sitting there waiting for you. If you go in the fight as Dyrachyo, you get roared. That fight's over.
Yeah, you get roared, you get lassoed. Hey, somebody else needs to be a threat on Gaimin Gladiators, and it's the downside. You're operating with the 3-position Venomancer. That's not going to scale up very well for you. Roll up and Rolling Thunder. Chaining that stun and hitting Dyrachyo as he tried to blink in. Still got the kill on the Nyx Assassin. And he has BKB if he wants to use it to run away here, but it gets a Primal Roar, and Tomato starts going to work with his damage. There's the Primal Roar, and there's the lasso. Still, though, Dyrachyo has a chance of being able to get back to his base. A Hurricane Pike, throw the damage out there. Got off the Unstable Concoction, won't stun himself, and actually will lead Quinn to be able to find the kill on Seb if he can hop for it. Throws out the orb, tries to jaunt away, and he stuns. No, nothing. So can't chase after Seb, but Quinn at least is able to protect his own life.
Man, the evasion on Dyrachyo is insane right now. I feel like every Weaver hit just misses.
Yeah, what was that?
I have no idea. I mean, even the hits that were outside of the Radiant's burn range were just missing every time.
Also, Dyrachyo still has a tier 1 neutral item.
Also a little questionable, yes?
I mean, I get it. It's 7 armor when you're below 50% HP. That's a lot, but there had to have been a better tier 2 or tier 3 at this point. He has not activated his tier 2 token, so. Back into the game, though. Dyrachyo gets the opening on BZM. Can they chain it? Primal Roar interrupts a lot of that one. Nice boundless strike, hitting the Weaver on the backside as well. Whisper's gonna try and chase down Tofu, though. With the extra Overstill Totem, he'll stick on top of him pretty easily. A jump away to his orb, but Ari's on the other side. Quinn's gonna be met with some immediate aggression as a Rolling Thunder plus the Impale. All are gonna miss. He manages to blink away. A jump back to the orb, perhaps, join the rest of his team as Ace and Dyrachyo are stuck in the thick of it. Dyrachyo's going to come back in. They're all pretty well lined up here. This is going to be an orb that does some good AoE damage with the buyback coming in as well from Tofu. A Silence, a Yules. Do they have any AoE stuns to hit Tomato with? He pops BKB, hits the time lapse, makes a run, a 180 to the other side. They still have the vision of him. He goes for a TP away. Isn't too late, though. Too much damage. They overwhelm the Weaver, get the kill, and look for the final member of OG still alive. It's Ari, whose Spike Carapace will not save you this time, my friend. 3 heroes hunting him down. That will be a team wipe.
You were talking about threats from Gaimin to come out, not put it all on this Alchemist. That damage in that fight got split across almost all 5 heroes there, and a buyback from Tofu gives him a little more to push over the edge. But the real point of that fight was OG did not back that Beastmaster up, and Whisper got caught on the side under a basically full duration CM ulti, just in a 1-on-3 as OG were chasing the puck. Lost sight of what makes this lineup strong, which is rallying around that Beastmaster with all his damage, all of his auras, and letting him frontline.
Dire's top tower
Ends up
is
just
under
getting
attack.
isolated, brought down, and the rest of that fight crumbles. Gaimin showing some signs of life here, bringing this lead back to basically nothing. Everything that OG had built up.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Are scanning.
Starting to get some serious auras and scalability on Gaimin themselves. Like the Shivas for the Veno is a big deal. You have a Lincoln's on the puck now, makes him a lot harder to catch. And BKB done for the Monkey King, which
Dire's top tower.
you're trapped in Wukong for a lot of this fight. It is a decent spell at dealing some damage over time.
Yeah, I mean, Wukong's command is a big part of like how this Monkey King support scales up, not just through damage, but survivability, right? Because you get 20 armor.
Yep.
So it's like, actually, this hero actually becomes really tanky with very few items against physical damage specifically. So if you have a BKB, yeah, OG
MKB
might be lacking in some damage for him.
He MKB on this Weaver for sure. There's a decent amount to get through here in terms of Solar Crest on the Maiden, Shiva's on Ace, AC on the Alchemist, Radiance Mischance. You can't really right-click this puck. The Monkey's gonna be sitting there with a bunch of bonus armor.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Tomato will try and finish up Daedalus here first before MKB, but feels like the lower damage item. Especially if this Solar Crest gets thrown on the front line, whoever the Weaver's hitting.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant
Gaimin Gladiators
are
sweep it
scanning.
across the map with their smoke.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They're gonna run into Ari. Run into Ari so many times before, and he's gotten away. The Vendetta, it gets denied this time around.
Scuttle cannot save you there. Monkey has infinite chase. Another kill picked up for Gaimin. They continue to find more room in this game to operate with, looking towards that next Roshan. Will absolutely contest it at this rate. Still an Arcane Rune sitting in the bottle for Quinn. Very strong rune on this hero.
Yeah.
You take a team fight around it. Could just go ham.
I mean, a big component, I feel like, Gaimin Gladiators' difference in last fight and some of their previous ones is it felt like Dyrachio was not alone in pumping out damage, right? Like, Quinn drew a lot of attention while still getting off multiple spells. Ace got off his ultimate and felt like he stayed alive a lot longer. And having an Arcane Rune certainly makes Quinn a much larger threat.
Parasma would be the big damage spike for him.
Yeah.
If you get there, you become a monster. You're going to start picking off these supports, dealing a lot more damage to the Weaver as well whenever you can catch him in a stun.
Well, a bit of awkward timing here because we need MKB onto Tomato, but he was, well, you were talking about, he was committed to picking up the Daedalus. So
Very close to level 25 as well. So if you get to level 25 plus the MKB, he's a different beast at that point.
yes. Even if maybe the Alchemist might still be a problem with the mischance, but say you get just a spike carapace on the puck. Then you hit him with the triple shot from the Weaver. You get one crit. That might be most of Quinn's HP at that point. May at some point become not about killing the Alchemist, but about killing as many of the other heroes as quickly as possible.
I don't even think you want to focus this Alch anymore if you're OG. I think you want to find the puck, the monkey, the maiden, if anything.
Radiant
These supports for Gaimin are doing a lot, and they found a lot of farm. They both have BKB, so they're not necessarily easy targets.
Gaimin Gladiators, another Roshan that they are not going to contest.
This is surprising to me. I feel like they would have wanted to contest this. They are smoking to it now. I think they're just late. This is an Aghanim Scepter. Goes onto the Weaver. Is that really who you want taking this? Just for the stats and the... Yeah, he eats it.
Yeah, I guess
We don't
they
even get the
don't
stats
have
anymore.
a better one. Like Ari, I don't think Nyx Assassins is actually that good, and is Seb going to use his Aghanim Scepter? Possibly, but...
I guess if you save like a full HP Beast or Pango, it's worth it.
Yeah, especially since he has Aegis. Gaimin Gladiators set up on a high ground here.
So Weaver will push in mid, try and set up this play. Gotta remember there's a gem on this puck trying to scout for the Knicks on the front line.
Actually gonna try and catch somebody here. The Weaver is not in range for a little bit. Still hit by the Rolling Thunder. Whisper gets off his BKB. Immediate roar for the Venomancer. They go to the back line. The two supports are in trouble right now, but the Weaver died instantly. So there goes that first life, and the Beastmaster is at half HP, but it got off another roar, and he's gonna start healing up off of that one. Celery, a decent ultimate, did what he could, but they have fallen, and whoa, that damage racked up real early. That was a lot in a very small window.
He got the big crit through. 1,500 physical damage attack there from the Weaver. Absolutely melted him. And there was a lot better target prioritization from OG. Ignore the Alchemist, get on the auras on the Venomancer, take him out of the fight first, open it up for the second life on Tomato, and it's a much easier exchange. Multiple carapaces help. They did not chase the puck too much, just took what was in front of them.
Yeah.
Refresher on Whisper, he just allows him to brute force his way through that fight with double BKB, double roar.
Yeah, these stationary heroes and Veno and Crystal Maiden can't run away.
Nope, you're locked in a cage of pain. Even if Vlad's done for Seb. I think that's the type of fight that could have happened earlier in this game for OG. They'll eventually find it, rebuild that net worth lead, even if this puck's being annoying.
Yeah, Quinn being cheeky, cuts the wave, but Tomato, backdoor protection did go down, so he can keep it going.
And you opted for Satanic over this MKB. It feels like he doesn't even need the evasion pierce. I guess after that fight, you'd be correct.
Yeah, just different philosophy and target prioritization. It has made a huge difference in outcome of the fight for OG. Might as well just keep focusing on that then. Kill everybody else outside of the Alchemist. Focus more so on killing them and survivability of your own.
Because Alex, he's not a huge damage threat. Like, I don't think Dyrachyo can actually really do anything in the first 10, 15 seconds of the fight. He's just a damage sink. If you ignore him and walk by him, what's he supposed to do?
And he can't build up any further. Like, he's queuing up Aghanim Scepters.
And
so
those level 25 talents are online. Huge power spike for the Weaver. Beastmaster one it's nice, not too influential here, but could come into play in a super long base push where they have buybacks. I think if you're OG, you just wait for Whisper to be ready and you go. If you have that refresher on the Beast, feels like you can't lose a true 5-on-5 exchange unless Whisper gets focused down early. Got to maybe try and find him with a Boundless Strike leadoff into like chain stun off the Alchemist, something of this nature. Use that monkey scouting to your advantage. The Satanic on Tomato will also make him a lot tankier. You try and burst him down.
Smoke up behind Tomato as he pushes forward through the mid lane. There's still tier 2 up at bottom, but OG are looking for the fight.
10 seconds for that Beast refresher.
Ward inside the base. Nobody's home. Gaimin Gladiators currently
Definitely
away.
Just push bottom here.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower has
It's
fallen.
a simpler.
You have Lotus Orbs to throw on this Weaver. You can siege here. You can also just jump with the Beast and force the fight, though you don't know what the buyback situation necessarily is. It's kind of the one question mark here for OG. Do you really want to take a 5-on-10 without information? Now, the buybacks are kind of missing for gaming. It's the part they don't know.
Which means that one of the two between Quinn and Tofu may have to take a sacrificial role in this next fight. One of them may need to kind of be gone on and use that buyback. Because if you lose Ace or Dyrachyo early on in this next engagement, chances are very good that it is going to be a 1-1 series at the end. No rush, it seems, from OG. No need to just blatantly push into the high ground with no regard. They'll slowly make sure all the lanes are pushed in a bit first. Maybe they're even planning on waiting for yet another Roshan.
Not much downside to it. You're not really getting anything big here if you're gaming.
Yeah, it's like, oh, watch out, guys. The Alchemist is going to have an Aghanim Scepter soon. Well, he won't have an Aghanim Scepter if he dies here. turns around, tries to go for the kill. There's the axe from the Weaver, though, and saving that Bat Rider has led to a lasso on Dyrachyo, and he'll die to the crits. Now Ace and Celery stuck in this corner of the map. They're not going anywhere. They drop their ultimates where they can. It really doesn't do that much.
ECM finds himself trapped off the map.
And Quinn has to use the Yules to be able to survive. Dies from the Impale.
Yeah, I don't even need the gem. Just go high ground.
Now,
Buyback's not available for the Alk and the Veno here, but even if they were, I don't think it matters. Just overwhelming scaling power out of this OG lineup. Nick's Bat are going to do a lot of work here, and I guess Seb was correct to give Tomato that Ags. That was the plan all along. Save me, brother.
guess so. And OG, persistent and pernicious as always, look like they're going to get yet another 1-1. They've gotten so many in so many group stages, including this one at Riyadh Masters, and after getting stomped in 14 minutes, they will bounce back